Oh my God, what in the actual fuck is going on? I leave for 1 week to go hang out at Walmart of the Seas, also known as Carnival Cruise Line, and shit just gets crazy. The fuck is going on with you guys? Sorry for already making our video R rated, but as you could probably have already guessed, our interim commissioner, Joseph Waltz, also known as Joie, has been fired. The new interim commissioner for times that I take a vacation or need to just get away from you people will be named later on in this video. But there is a new interim commissioner that will be named. I want to address a couple of things. There was a trade while I was gone, trying to make moves. The commissioner job never sleeps, except when I'm on vacation. But being a league manager of a team, which I also am, that never stops. So I made a trade with Vic Galati. Gurley was a very low-ranked running back with, yes, he had upside after week 2. I had the number 1 tight end and still have the number 1 tight end as of this moment that I'm filming the video in Greg Olsen. But that's not who I traded. I traded some other guys. Vic really wanted Texans D, which was a top-ranked defense going into week 3. And he had Chiefs D, wanted to do a little swap. Yeah, in retrospect, Chiefs D and Gurley finally had breakout weeks last week. But the trade was accepted, and shortly after, I do what I have always done. And when I say this, Joie, interim commissioner Waltz, I literally mean always 8-year history of the league, with which only one other person in the league has been a part of all 8 years, and that is Tom Schroeder. He won the first 2 championships of the league. Every time a trade has been proposed and accepted in the league, whether it was me or another person, I reach out to every single owner in the league to get a majority vote before I process the trade. And I look back in the 8-year history of the league, not one trade has actually gone through the ESPN 48 hours. That rule is literally set there because you can't set anything else. So I reached out to every member in the league, and there was a 7-5 vote in favor of the trade, which is why I processed it. Okay? Then the league gets political and parties start forming, and I do the right thing because I don't want to cause trouble in our league. If you want to know, by the way, if you want to know drama league, go hang out in Victor Paredes' league. I'm literally the only person that talks on that entire page, except when Vic posts his update videos. But if you want a drama league, you're going to get drama in this league. There's literally been a scandal every year, and this one got known as Gurley Gate because I had to undo the trade and put it up for an official review, even though we've literally never done that ever in the history of the league. I have always reached out to every owner. I've messaged them, said, hey, what do you think of the trade? Do you want to allow it or veto it? In fact, that happened again yesterday when Jacob Allen and Matt Ernst had a trade, and what do you know? It was a 7-5 vote to allow the trade, and so we allowed the trade. Seriously, and it got passed. No one then threw up a stink like, oh my gosh, there's no trade, there shouldn't be a trade, even though I thought that trade was kind of imbalanced. But the thing about trading is this is a fucking free market. There's no trades that are ever fair in any sports ever. They're always going to be lopsided in one way or the other, and that's the risk that you take playing fantasy football, and that's the risk that you make in trading, okay? There's no fair trades. There's just no fair trades. The world has been founded on unfair trades because there is no such thing as a fair trade. You may perceive it to be unfair or perceive it to be fair, but in reality, there is no fair trades. The last thing I will say is the only reason why it got vetoed is 2 things. Joseph Waltz, aka Joie, went on a campaign. The last thing that I ever wanted to see in our league was any politics. If you know me and you start talking politics in front of me, I will make a joke so we can move on and never talk about anything political because it's ridiculous. And that happened in our league, claiming that it was unfair. And the funny thing about that trade is, according to ESPN, Vic was actually getting the better of that trade as of the first 2 weeks. Yeah, oh my gosh, Gurley hadn't broken out yet. Oh my gosh, blah, blah, blah. A, most injured position in the league, especially with fantasy implications. And number two, the running back position is the running back position is the running back position. It doesn't fucking matter. The other thing that doesn't fucking matter is draft position post draft. It's like saying, hey, you can't trade Matt Forte right now, despite him being the best running back in the league, fantasy wise. You can't trade him right now because his perceived draft position was lower. Just because it was the low end versus the high end and the opposite, which I already lost half of you, you don't even know what I'm talking about. We're getting really technical here. But seriously, it's all perceived value. There are no fair trades. Again, Joao Waltz has been fired. I'm going to apologize for this longer video because it's going to go about 10 minutes, as opposed to the thing that made me think I was watching a live webcam of a girl about to play with herself when Joao was the commissioner for 30 fucking minutes. 30 minutes. I wasted 30 minutes of my life watching that video just to see what I already knew. Ridiculous. So first off, I'm going to announce the new official interim commissioner. The new official interim commissioner for when I have to be absent is Vic Paredes. Congratulations, Vic. It's an honor to have you serve as interim commissioner in the event that I am not available. Congratulations. Let's talk about another miscellaneous announcement. All of your team names, besides like two of you, blow. Okay, some of you haven't even changed your team names from last year. So here's the deal. I'm going to be commissioner and make an executive decision that by the end of this week, this football week, so by the end of the Monday night game, if your team name is not changed, and I will call you out and tell you who needs to change their team name, I will change your team name for you, and I will lock your team name. And that's what it'll be for the rest of the season. Let me give you an example. Avery Estrada, your team name is Injured Reserve IR. That was your team name last year. Change your team name. You've literally had no one get hurt and put on IR on your team. So change your team name. Another one that is absolutely ridiculous is Tijuana Fish Tacos. Jameson, I'm pretty sure you've had that team name since before Chloe was born. Change your team name. No one even cares what it means. All right? It just makes you look like an idiot. The next one, Dirty Sanchez Butt Fumblers. Okay, this is kind of funny, except you don't have Mark Sanchez on your team, Chris. Change your fucking team name. Be a little more creative rather than Googling really funny fantasy team names. Okay? Speaking of Googling really funny fantasy team names, Tom Schroeder, Jim Bob Cooter's Wild Rodeo. I don't know if you know this, but Jim Bob Cooter is on the Lions. Before today, you did not have a Detroit Lions player on your team. And the guy that you do have is their third string running back. So change your fucking team name. It's stupid. Boston TD Party. Show me your TDs, Jacob Allen. Did you know that Nate Langley had that team name for like 2 years, 4 years ago? Change your team name. Des Nuts No Romo. Okay. Again, Nate, you had this team name last year, and this year you do not have Tony Romo or Des Bryant on your team. So change your team name. I would like to see something like Dak Nabbit. Ball Don't Lie, Joie. I mean, you already got fired as interim commissioner. I don't know what the fuck your team name means. Change your team name. Oh, and by the way, side note, D'Angelo Williams was the number one projected running back for week 3, and he scored 4 points. Perceived value. Rankings don't mean dick. All right. And then I don't think I can make you change your team name, Vic, but your team name is Cum, spelled C-U-M, back kids. And your picture is of a child covered in cum. I just don't know what to think of it. I just don't. Sorry. Okay. As you probably know, there's 3 teams 0-3. They're all in the same division. Me, Jameson, and Vic Paredes. Me and Jameson happen to play each other this week, so that should be interesting. The toilet bowl last week was Vic Gulati, who put up the most points in the league. Of course, that's karma coming around. And against Jameson, who actually had his best week so far, but still lost by a lot. And so Jameson's 0-3 going up against me this week at 0-3. That is definitely the featured matchup. None of the other ones matter. There's 2 3-0 teams in the league. Joe Gianosa, Joey Waltz, congrats. Even though, Joey, I predict a steady decline since I looked at your roster, and you literally have every single backup running back on teams. It worked good with Le'Veon Bell out and Jamal Charles out, with Thomas Rawls getting hurt. So you lucked out with Christine Michael. But I predict a steady downfall for you from 3-0. Just a prediction. The other matchup that is relevant is Chris Alvarez versus Joao Waltz, because I fully predict that Chris Alvarez will win this matchup. Chris's team was already good, and he just got Le'Veon Bell back. Yes, I am not lying there. He just got Le'Veon Bell back. So he now has 3 top running backs. Anyways, by the time you're done watching this video, the trade between myself and Vic Freitas, or Vic Gulati, number 2, will go through, because there was a vote and I got member response from every single one of you. So if you throw a stink up, I'm just going to say, fuck you. And it was 9-3 allow. Yes, more people want to allow this trade than they did Jacob and Matt's trade yesterday, but it is going to be allowed. It will affect lineups as of the end of today. My fiance is out of town starting today through Sunday night, so you're welcome to come over anytime. And we can eat organic vegetables, especially if Vic Paredes is involved. Congratulations again to Vic for being named the new interim commissioner when I'm unavailable. Have a good week.